Not all Caribbean islands deliver the same luxury experience, and choosing the wrong one can completely change your trip. Today, I'm ranking the best luxury Caribbean islands for 2026 travel based on real experience and what type of traveler each destination is best for. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which island belongs on your itinerary. Before we get into the list, I want to be transparent about how I built this ranking because this is not based on Instagram aesthetics or travel magazine sponsored content. I have personally traveled and vetted properties across more than 30 countries. I've worked with the clients at every price point in the Caribbean. I've seen firsthand what separates a genuinely luxury experience from a luxury price one. Here's what I'm measuring each island against. Service. Does the destination attract the kind of properties and staff that understand what true hospitality looks like? Not just attentiveness, but anticipation. Atmosphere. What does it actually feel like to be there? Luxury is not just thread count and champagne on arrival. It's the energy of the place. Exclusivity. How crowded is it? Are you sharing the beach with 800 strangers? Or does it feel like the island was designed for the few? Resort quality. Are the properties genuinely world class? Or are they charging 5-star prices for a 3-star product? Overall experience. When the trip ends and you're sitting on that flight home, what is the feeling? That is the final measurement. Here is the authority line I want you to lock in before we go further. The best island is not the most popular one. It is the best fit for your personality, your travel goals, and what kind of memories you want to carry home. Now, let's begin. I'm going to name a few islands in no particular order. First off, we're starting with St. Kitts and Nevis. This is Belvin, Showtime Travel. As you can see, we're in St. Kitts, and it's interesting. They have two sides. This is the Atlantic side. And then if you go over here, you have Caribbean walks. We're starting here because St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the most underestimated islands in the entire Caribbean. And I think that's actually its greatest asset right now. It's best for travelers who want quiet, uncrowded, emerging luxury. The vibe here is low-key, unhurried. You're not going to find the mega resort infrastructure of some of the bigger islands. What you will find is a destination that has not been overrun yet, which means the experience still feels personal and unhurried. The Four Seasons Nevis has been one of the most consistently well-reviewed luxury properties in the Caribbean for decades. The beach is calm, the pace is slow in the best possible way. The sugar mills, the rainforest, the sailings, there's more texture here than people realize. So who should book the St. Kitts and Nevis? The seasoned traveler who has been to the popular spots, wants something off the beaten path, and still expects a genuinely high-end property and service experience. This is not a compromised destination, it is a connoisseur destination. There's one thing to know, St. Kitts and Nevis are two unique islands, and the locals will let you know. Next, let's discuss St. Lucia. Now this is best for scenery and romance, specifically honeymoons and milestone anniversary trips. If you want dramatic, St. Lucia delivers it in every direction. The Pitons, which are two volcanic peaks rising out of the water, create a backdrop that does not look real. It looks like a painting, but you're standing in it. The vibe here is lush, green, and romantic. This is not a flat beachscape island. It has elevation, texture, and jungle. The beaches tend towards darker volcanic sand in some areas and golden sand in others, depending on where you stay. Properties like Sugar Beach, Jade Mountain, and Ladera are genuinely special. Jade Mountain in particular was built so every suite faces the Pitons directly. We're at the famous Jade Mountain. We're in room JE3. It is a beautiful, beautiful room with views of the Pitons. Great. There are no fourth walls in most suites. You wake up looking at those peaks from your private infinity pool. Who should book St. Lucia? Couples. Full stop. Honeymooners, anniversary travelers, milestone trip clients who want scenery that they will be talking about for the rest of their lives. There's one note: St. Lucia is very rugged, and if you're driving to your hotel from the airport, it may get a little bumpy. That's why I really recommend, if you have a long drive from the airport to your hotel, that you take the helicopter ride. It saves you and gives you peace of mind. Our third island is Turks and Caicos, best for beach luxury and calm, refined elegance. Here's the thing about Turks and Caicos: the water is almost unreal. So, water so clear, you can see it in this glass. Let's see, staying here 5 times. Grace Bay consistently ranks among the top beaches in the world. And when you arrive and see the flat turquoise water for the first time, you understand why. The vibe is quiet, polished, and effortless. This is not an island that tries too hard. It just delivers. The infrastructure is excellent. The resorts, particularly properties like Como Pier Key and the Grace Bay Club, world-class services. Service is attentive and sophisticated without being intrusive. Ambergris Key and Pine Key offer even more privacy, even if you want to go beyond the main island. I've been to Turks and Caicos multiple times, worked with clients there, and the consistency is what sets it apart. You know what you're getting every single time. Who should book Turks and Caicos? Couples seeking relaxation first luxury. Families who want calm, clear water and safe, well-organized destinations. Anyone whose primary goal is to exhale, decompress, and sit in some of the most beautiful water on earth. If you describe your dream trip as, "I just want to sit on a gorgeous beach and feel completely taken care of," Turks and Caicos is the answer. The fourth island on the list is St. Barths, best for elite luxury and a social scene that matches the setting. St. Barths occupies a different category than almost anywhere else in the Caribbean. This is not a place you go to get away from the world. This is a place you go to step into a particular world. One where the yachts in the harbor are serious, the restaurants are generally excellent, the shopping is European caliber, and the hotels understand luxury at a level that is rare anywhere else in the hemisphere. The vibe is sophisticated, cosmopolitan, and unapologetically upscale. The island has a strong French influence, which shows up in the food, the architecture, the energy of the place, and the way the whole thing is managed. There's no mass tourism here. The airport is famously small, and the runway approach is famously dramatic. This is not an accident. The difficulty of getting there is part of what keeps the island at this level. Properties like Eden Rock, Chevelon Blanc, and La Tuani are the very top of Caribbean's luxury tier. These are not just nice hotels. These are experiences that people plan years in advance and return to again and again. Who should book St. Barths? The client who wants the elite experience, the social scene, the design-forward aesthetics, and the European sensibility applied to the Caribbean backdrop. This is for travelers who appreciate fashion, food, and elevated nightlife alongside their beach time. New Year's Eve on St. Barths is one of the most coveted celebrations in the world for a reason. Budget note: this is one of the most expensive islands on the list by a significant margin. It belongs at that level though. Last on the list, British Virgin Islands, BVI. Best for exclusivity, sailing, and a kind of luxury that is rooted in freedom. Here's why the BVI is on this list. Every other island on this list centers the experience around the resort. The BVI centers the experience around the destination itself. The BVI contains dozens of islands, many of them nearly uninhabited. The sailing culture here is world class. You can charter a private yacht and wake up in a different bay every morning. You can anchor off Jost van Dyke for the afternoon, dine at a restaurant that has no address, then sail to Virgin Gorda and spend the next day in the baths. The vibe is remote, adventurous, and genuinely exclusive in a way that cannot be manufactured. No resort, no matter how expensive, can replicate the feeling of having a bay to yourself. Properties like Mosquito Island and Walnut Bay represent the pinnacle of Caribbean private island luxury. These are not properties for everyone. They're for travelers who have done the resort circuit, who understand what they are paying for, and who want something that simply cannot be replicated anywhere else. Who should book the BVI? The sophisticated traveler who wants maximum freedom and a destination that requires some planning to get it right. This is not a plug-and-play destination. The reward for doing it well is extraordinary. This is also one of the clearest examples why working with a travel advisor matters. A poorly planned BVI trip with a boat that does not deliver on an itinerary that misses the best anchorages is a very different trip than anyone built by someone who understands the destination. Now that you have seen the full list of islands, let me make the decision framework simple. If what you want is world-class beaches and calm, refined water, Turks and Caicos is your answer. It's consistent, beautiful, and purpose-built for the traveler whose primary goal is relaxation and visual perfection. If what you want is adventure and a sense of freedom that money can buy but planning actually delivers, BVI, British Virgin Islands. Charter a yacht, explore the island, and experience the Caribbean at a level that most travelers never access. If what you want is elite luxury with a social scene, European design sensibility, and the best restaurants in the Caribbean, St. Barths. Arrive knowing you're stepping into one of the most prestigious luxury destinations in the world. If what you want is scenery that takes your breath away and romantic settings that almost does not look real, St. Lucia. The pitons, the jungle, the volcanic drama. For honeymooners and anniversary trips, this is the emotional peak of the Caribbean. If what you want is quiet and exclusivity without a mega resort feel and a destination that still has some discovery left in it, St. Kitts and Nevis is your best choice. Here's what I want you to take away from this framework. The mistake most travelers make is choosing a destination based on what they have heard, not what they actually need. The Caribbean gets broadly marketed as one product: beaches, sun, and rum punch. But at a luxury level, every island has a distinct identity. Matching the identity to the traveler is the work. And that's what I do. And it's the difference between a good trip and a trip you'll still be talking about 10 years from now. The best Caribbean islands for luxury travel is not the most famous one. It is the one that was chosen intentionally based on who you are as a traveler and what you actually want to feel. That is the work, and it's worth doing right. If you found this breakdown useful, share it with someone you know who has been putting off a Caribbean trip. They need this information. If you want me to tell you personally which island belongs on your itinerary, comment Showtime below. I read every comment. I will give you a real answer based on what you tell me about your travel goals. If you want to go deeper on any of these destinations, I have dedicated videos on Turks and Caicos, Antigua, St. Lucia, and more right here on this channel. Remember to contact me because you deserve a luxury vacation.